This is the man who made this technology happen. This is the programmable remote control, and this is the creator of this very innovative technology. I say Dr. Joseph Jackson. Dr. Jackson, how are you doing today?
Just fine, Ray, just fine.
It's truly an honor to be here on camera with you today, a living legend in science. Let the viewing audience know, where were you born, Dr. Joseph Jackson?
Jefferson Parish, Louisiana. This is just right across the Mississippi River from New Orleans in Louisiana.
All right. Now, in your early years, did you attend public or private school?
I went to public school, yes. Up to the 7th grade.
Now, what was the racial content of the school that you attended when you went?
Yeah, 100% black at that time. We're talking about, I was born in 37, so it was all black until, they changed and integrated the schools.
So how did the textbooks that you were taught by, the curriculum that you were required to learn in your early years in school, how did it make you feel about being a young black person in America?
Well, I didn't really realize it at the time, but later I found that the textbooks that was handed down to us was about 12 years behind what the white children had in the area, okay? And whenever we got books, they were new to us, but they were already used and was 10 or 12 years old, by the time they got handed down to us. So, yeah, that's a fact.
Did you what type titles were the books that you read? Were you taught the Little Black Sambo? Did y'all read that, or
yes.
Did they teach you about slavery while you were in early school?
I learned about Little Black Sambo. I also learned a lot of old anthems with Stephen Foster, Old Black Joe, and various songs that we had to sing every morning in assembly and so forth. Yeah, it was quite. They tried to embed into us that side, the negative side as far as blacks are concerned, the Sambo and so forth, eating thousands of pancakes and so forth. Yeah.
We're working on rewriting the American history book to include contributions made by people like yourself. How do you think books that include the accomplishments of African Americans and other ethnic groups will help improve race relations in this country?
Well, it will instill a sense of pride into our young children, especially the children now, because what they see on TV is that we run fast, jump high, and bounce rubber, and do various things. And once they get to see all of the accomplishments and contributions that blacks have made, such as inventors, as a founder of the Black Invention Museum, we've authenticated over 1,500 items that was invented by blacks. So, and when young children visit the Black Invention Museum and they see these items, they're shocked because no one tells them about these items. Obviously, they know about a few things, Madam C.J. Walker and the straightening comb, and Garrett Morgan with the traffic signal, but there's just so many other significant ideas, things like the flush toilet and so forth that's used in everybody's home around the world. Nobody knows that a black man invented that commode, okay? So these are things that we have to enlighten our young children with, because they will mimic and they will, whatever they see out there, that's what they will gravitate towards. So it's the hip-hop and the rap and whatever. That's why everybody want to be a rapper or a hip-hopper or a baseball player, basketball player, football player, because that's what they see. If a little more attention was paid to the scientific side and the other creative sides of blacks, then that will give them some alternatives and other things to look at that we've achieved. But it's incumbent upon us as a race of people to be able to get this information out. People like yourself, Ray, that's working towards doing something like this. I just had an interview with a young man from down in Mounds Bayou, Mississippi. They're getting ready to re-resurrect that city and rebuild it and do a whole lot of things, and requesting that I go down there with some of my inventions. And to provide jobs and so forth. And I'm committed to doing something like that because Mound Bayou is a very historical place as it relates to blacks.
All right, now, Dr. Jackson, how did you get into the electronic field? What led you to have an interest in working with electronics, television? Tell us a little bit about that.
Okay. Because I mentioned I went to the 7th grade, I need to clear that up, okay? Prior to my joining the military, I spent 3 years in the 5th grade, 3 years in the 6th grade, and about 6 weeks in the 7th grade. And then by that time, I was much larger than most of the kids, and I quit school, and I went to work for a white lady down in Louisiana. She taught me to type. She taught me about delivery tickets and invoices and so forth. So by the time I turned 18, I was pretty much further along. So when I joined the Army, knowing how to type, okay, I got some pretty cushy jobs. And in there, I found that all shades of people doing various things, okay? So I availed myself, and then a little while after being in there, I took a GED test and passed it for high school. Well, that made me eligible to go to radio and TV school, which has always been a fascination of mine. Now, going back to when I was about 5 years old, we had a big radio that stood up in our living room. TV was not that prominent at that time. And I used to lie down in front of that radio and listen. And one day my parents weren't at home, and curiosity got the best of me. I wanted to know where were those little people that was making that noise in the radio. So I kept goofing around with it and tore the grill off the front, and I still didn't see any people. And I found this big round thing in there that now that we know is a speaker. Got to goofing around with that and got a hole in it. Now it's sounding funny, and I could see the wall through that hole. And well, I went in the back, and I still didn't see any people, and I tried to patch it up. But when my dad got home, I got the spanking of my life. However, he tried to explain to me that there weren't any little people in there, that this was an electronic thing, and some distance away set a transmitter, and the radio being a receiver, that transmitter could send radio waves, which is the voice of someone over the air. And then the radio, being a receiver, would turn that information into intelligence, which we actually can listen to, okay? But it was still a difficult thing for me to conceive of at that time, but it always stayed with me. So when I got in the Army and I got a chance to go to radio and TV school, I wanted to find that mystery out. So I studied radio and TV early 60s in Fayetteville, North Carolina with Fort Bragg. And then I opened my own radio and TV shop about 4 months out of school, and I had it as a part-time business. I was a soldier during the day, and I fixed TVs nights and weekends for about 7 or 8 years in that area. So that's where I got the vast amount of experience in electronics.